One morning, God was looking into the mirror. She noticed some movement in the mirror and realized that she was watching Stina. She saw her pass by on the right, and then she disappeared from view. Stina was behind. And even though she had dropped from view, she knew that Stina was there, and it was as if they were one. That's Stina. I remember when I made her. She has such a sweet tooth, and I love her so much. I've given her talents to share, and I bless her always. Then God saw Stina pop out on the left, almost as if she was photobombing, and God heard Stina praying, "Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for having the temperatures be over 20 degrees. Amen." Then Stina looked into the mirror and examined her face, thinking, I see some wrinkles that I don't really like. Wait a minute, what's that on my chin? And she was working her way up to being negative, but she looked to her right for whatever reason, and she felt calm. Something shifted. She loved it when she got that feeling. When she looked into the mirror again, she saw someone coming. She saw Janet on her right, and then Janet disappeared from view. Janet was behind. And even though she had dropped from view, she knew that Janet was there, and it was as if they were one. That Janet, I don't know how she does it. She does so much for so many. She has shared her talents so generously. She's always at the church. I should get her a cot. No. I should get her some flowers to remind her how much she's loved. And then Stina saw Janet pop out on the left side of the mirror, almost as if she was photobombing. And so on, and so on. Reflecting God's love is virtually impossible for me if I forget that to reflect love, I need to open myself up to receive and to be vulnerable. If I'm being honest, being vulnerable is scary for me. I feel unprotected, like a snail that's out of its shell. What if people laugh at me when I tell my truth? What if I fail? Sometimes I can do it, and sometimes I can't. But for me, most of the time, the fruit of vulnerability is what allows me to connect with other human beings in a deep and satisfying way. Vulnerability can have its rewards. It is where God shines. It is where I can see that the flowers I deliver could very easily be coming to me. That I can see that I could be a phone call away from grief or a diagnosis that I don't want. Being vulnerable is brave enough to sometimes see that God is in me and allows me to recognize that God is in each of us. And when I see God, how can I say no? How can any of us say no? So I'd like to leave you with a poem by Gladys and Gordon Dupree. It's based on a verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18, which says, "And because for us there is no veil over the face, we all reflect, as in a mirror, the splendor of the Lord. Thus we are transfigured into his likeness from splendor to splendor. And the poem, there was a time in man's awareness when we thought we could not look at the face of God and live, and we still feel it. If you stare at me for very long, we both feel uncomfortable. Even an animal will look away if you look into its face for more than a few seconds. But now there is the opposite danger. If we do not face each other, if we do not recognize our oneness, we will not live. Open your eyes and look at me. Don't be afraid. Reach out your finger and touch my hand. Do you feel the current of life flowing from your finger to mine? We live, and only as we look into each other's faces, the faces of God, will we know how to live. Go out into the world, reflecting God's love. We are the people of God, made in the image of God. Go out and see God's face in everyone you meet. Amen.